Good morning. Welcome to Fallawsophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw. It's weird. I look like cartoonish. I don't know what that's about. Weird. How is everyone today? Thank you for joining me. See, we have lots of people in the chat. Yeah, I don't know why I look like that. Oh well. So today, God, I got too much. At first, I didn't have much to say, and now I have too much to say. Now that I thought about it. So let's go over for the RV news real quick. Yesterday, I put out a new Gentel that is posted on Fallawsophy on Telegram and all over the place at Jennifer Fallaw on Telegram, and those links are in the write-up of this show. Before I do that, if you'd like to get a yearly forecast reading with me, the sale will be ending probably tomorrow or tonight when I get around to taking it down. And you can go to Fallawsophy.com and purchase that and schedule yourself. This is something I only do once a year, so you're going to want to get it at the sale price and get on the schedule now. Once again, the links to my websites and my Telegram is in the write-up. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to have to put the ugly glasses on, okay? I've got different glasses. One for distance so I can see the screen, one so that I can see close up because I'm middle-aged now and that's just the way it's going to go. Any comments about it? I don't want to hear it. Okay. So this is Gentel for January 5th, 2025. What the heck is going on here? Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. Can't wait for the med so I can just see. I have to have all these devices to see with, okay? I've had glasses since I was 6, so. All right. This is interdimensional meditation. 6th level of heaven. Interdimensional meditation, for the people that don't know, is a projection of consciousness to a location. The way that I teach it is that I teach people to go to heaven, talk to God, Jesus, or the archangels, receive your own healing, ask your own questions, get your own answers. It's a light meditation. I do teach people to do it. Oh, also at jenniferfallaw.com, the classes to learn how to do that are on sale right now. And you're going to want to purchase that. Email me after so I have a good email to send them to you. It's 9 video classes with psychic development and interdimensional meditation. Those are coming off of sale too. So I projected my consciousness to the 6th level of heaven. I met with Jesus, the apostles, and the archangels in the library. And the library is a very high vibrational place. I teach people in the meditations to go and find their house in heaven. And when I found my house in heaven a long time ago, it started out as just one room, and over time, as my abilities developed, there were more rooms, and every room had a purpose. And one day I found myself in the library. And I thought I created it with thought. And I walked in, and the archangels were in there, and it's this beautiful old world style room with dark cherry wood carved, floor to ceiling bookshelves and fireplaces and a desk in the middle, which is interesting, and you'll find out closer to the end of this show why there's a desk in the middle. Seating areas, a long conference table, scrolls and devices and all kinds of things in there. I never even thought of, let's put scrolls over here in these shelves. And so I thought when I found the library that Archangel Michael walks in the meditation, and I said, huh? Look at this. How creative am I? Thinking it's all my imagination. And he says, I've always loved this room. And I'm thinking, where am I then? Whose library is this? I don't know. I think it's Gabriel's. But it was very hard when I used to go to the library first. It almost looked like very watery. The vibration of it was very high. Now I don't have a problem. But recently I was asked to go there and to sit at the desk, and this is where I will be doing the Gentel and my meditations and my writing from now on. So I went to the library. RV News. The entire team stood around the desk, and I wrote down what I heard. I heard ambassadors meet with Trump soon. There will be a peace treaty between Russia and Ukraine. Then the world will see the connections to underground secret crime rings. Tensions cease with Iran soon. And China hosts peace talks. For what? I don't know. Best possibility for a visible rate is Wednesday morning. That would be tomorrow morning. Pray it in. That is, and always is, as of now, and if everything goes well. After we see that visible rate, we will see our domino effect with the other rates. Okay? Sunday night, I did a live with Johnny from Real People, Real News. That is an audio. It is on my channels on Telegram. It's on his channels. It's all over the place. You can go to Fallawsophy on Telegram if you want to find it. We did a 2-hour. We were talking about how the entire operation started to make sense, the connections, the World Court, which is the alliance. I've been telling you for a while that the USA would be assisting in regime change in Venezuela, and we are witnessing that now. I talked about a lot of things yesterday on Real News Live with Mike and Jen on Rumble, and on Sunday night. And then I thought of Phil. And I don't care what you think about Phil. I don't think the same things you do. Man's an entrepreneur. It's remarkable what he has accomplished. And if you sign up to do something with him, you're told exactly what you're getting into. And if you're not successful in it, well, that's your own damn fault. But I have known from the beginning that the story he told about the boy is true. And I know that he has connections. Okay? He also has his own opinions, and everybody does. And that's okay. But I was wondering if we were going to hear from him. And we did. And I do encourage you all to go watch his live last night, because it's very interesting. If you listen to my audio and you watch the show and you know what I've been saying for a while about Venezuela and the things that need to happen down there and why it is so important so that we can go for the RV, he came out last night, basically told you the same thing and explained it a little bit differently. But that was cool. And another little thing, side note, personal note. He actually, when he started talking about Venezuela, I try to say it correctly now, but I don't even know if I am. He said it wrong too, the way I used to, Venezuela. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Phil. Anyway, we gather information. That is a good place to go and get some more information if you didn't watch that. So go ahead, Phil G. Yes. Phil Godlewski. Watch that one from last night for informational purposes. I believe he's posting today on Telegram. Every time he does, it makes me smile. So this is good stuff. It's just adding to the story. All right, coming in the news. A train wreck will reveal shipments of drugs and other from another organized crime ring within the United States. And new tunnels are found. I'm thinking about Mexico. So, let's see what happens with that. I saw another cliff collapse. It was next to the ocean or a body of water, and it covered the entire highway or the road. Be aware of your surroundings if you're driving on windy roads close to water, okay? Again, coming in the news is just so that we can get some kind of confirmation of this behind-the-scenes information that happens with the RV news, because we really won't get full confirmation. Well, probably won't get full confirmation on anything except our RV appointments, and that's what we're waiting for. Interesting. Someone's calling me and it just says United States. God. All right. So, I got that the Maduro trial will be postponed, that the enemy is trying to mess around with that. It's enemy tactics. That will be. And then after that, I heard overruled. So I don't know what is overruled. I assumed yesterday that their tactics would be overruled to postpone or delay whatever happens to him. I could be wrong. It's in the Gentile. We'll see what happens. I saw a ship sink, a big, like, military ship or a large ship go down in the water. So coming in the news is to confirm how clear I was on the RV news meditation. Last thing, as I saw a worldwide trend, the United States is still calling me. Just make me a little nervous. Stop it. Put that to voicemail. And just, side note, I am the psychic foo-foo lady. Okay? I don't have anybody in the government or inside telling me anything about anything geopolitical or anything like that. It's just little old me over here talking to Jesus and the team. Okay? Can be totally discredited at any time. All right. There will be a worldwide trend to be free from communism, to be free from oppression within people's countries. They want freedom. They want Trump to come into their countries and do what he did in Venezuela. We're going to see that. Okay? All right, so that's the Gentile. I do think we're looking for a rate change in Iraq. Now, Phil was talking about last night about, and this is an important piece of information that I missed. I mean, I was talking about the resources in the ground and how they were suppressing that. They were stopping the RV from having control over that, and that's what Trump went in. I told you they had Maduro a long time ago, and that he was just a singer in the band. And it's actually the cabal that controlled everything. I told you this would lead to the reveal of the 2020 elections and how it was stolen and who was involved. And I told you Maduro will take the fall for it. They're talking, well, he's a drug trafficker and this is his crimes. And I told you, well, it's bigger than that. This is much bigger than that. What is going on down in Venezuela. And then Phil came out last night. Really enjoyed that live. And told you that Iraq wanted the oil. And I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. We're supposed to get these big rates out of Iraq wants the oil. And I'm like, I don't really understand that, but it makes sense. So we're in a good place. There is a very good possibility that we could see a rate tomorrow. I don't know when they're going to push out the notifications, but it would be smart to do it immediately. I think we're good to go. Oh, also, I was talking about Iran, and that was in the Gentel. I think we're going to have that handled really quickly. So these geopolitical last-minute tensions and last-minute cleanup is important. There were problems there that needed to be handled. Okay. So you got a little homework. If you didn't listen to the live, go and listen to the live. Good information there. And then the 2-hour live with Donnie and I that is posted on Fallawsophy on Telegram. There's a lot of good information there about the alliance, understanding what it is. Yeah, it's making me a little nervous. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. I don't really know how to lay this all out for you. It's going to be a lot of personal information here. About Yellow, I started a social club for patriots, for RVers, for med people, for all of us weirdos, free thinkers, so that we can gather, socialize, make friends in our own area. And that is on Telegram if you want to join it. The link is in the write-up here. Hang on a second. Banknote World is having a problem shipping me my order. Why is that? Deal with that later. Interesting. What kind of problem that is? Never had a problem before. All right, so I have some information from a meditation, which is cool. Cool story. Unrelated. But it's going to help. We've got a direct message here from Jesus, and that's why I want to share it with you. Warm and fuzzies, okay? And everybody needs that right now. It's just totally cool. Okay, it's totally cool. And then I want to talk about why I started Yellow RV Social Club, and when we RV, when we go, I'm just going to call it Yellow, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. There's a method to my madness. There is. So over the Christmas vacation, I've started working on meditations to learn from the apostles, to learn more, to build and write my 7th element program, which will eventually lead to God-centered conscious creation and my attempt to enlighten and wake up humanity and help them function more as a soul here, like heaven on earth. Over time, of course. So I've started those meditations to learn more and not just go in and ask questions about the RV. Okay? It's been really cool. I love that. Um, so when I started that, well, this one in particular felt like another like level up, like another beginning to it because I was asked to receive the information in a different way. So I'm going to share it with you so that you understand where I'm coming from. But the message we got is undeniable. You get, of course, with everything, you're going to have to believe me. You're going to have to believe me. But those of you who are rising in vibration, doing the work, you're going to feel this. You're going to know it's true. Okay? Story time. So I went into meditation. And before meditation, I always ask, where would you like me to meet you? Jesus and the team. And they said, the library. And I'm like, why? What are you going to hit me with now? I mean, this is something major. I mean, I'm only asked to go to the library for very important things. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to step into fear. I'm just going to go. And so I went to the library. And I walk in, and like I said, I walk in. Over here, there's a seating area with couches next to a very large fireplace. And everything's very old world English style, and I love that. Looks like the 1800s in there. And off to the left, away back there, is a large conference table where we all sit when there's something important to talk about. Behind the seating area, there's a door that leads out to a giant ballroom, and I don't even know why. Never had any. I'm sure I'll find out someday. But on the wall there is this huge stained glass window of Blessed Mother Mary. It's beautiful. The rest of the library and around goes around in these very ornately carved mahogany, really dark wood, floor to ceiling bookshelves with all kinds of scrolls and items and books and all kinds of neat stuff, which I really have never gone through because I'm task at hand. I know that when the time is right, if there's something in there I need to read or know, I will. In the back of the library, there's another seating area and a big, fireplace like you could step into. In the middle of this, there's a wooden desk, and kind of like an old-fashioned leather chair with the buttons on it, So I came to the library. Everybody was there. And I'll read to you what I wrote after here. The team of archangels met me. Michael, Jovial, Gabriel, Chamuel, Raphael, Haniel, Uriel. Michael asked me to sit at the desk. And he said, it's to begin my lessons. I'm like, okay, we're learning again. Oh, actually, the apostles weren't there this time. I asked where the apostles were, and he said they would be joining us later. I'm like, okay, so we just got the archangels and we've got Jesus in there. And Jesus stepped forward and pulled up a chair and sat down next to me. So we're both facing the desk. And on the desk, there were 3 items in front of me. And it's kind of like in meditation, it's kind of a tunnel vision thing. All right. So I look at the items and they just start to come into focus. I'm trying to see what these things are. He showed them to me. He pointed to me. And one of them was an inkwell. And there was a white and black feather quill next to it. And he told me to use these to write down what I learned. And I'm like, oh, that's lovely. That's like so Bridgerton in English and then like old world. I love that. Okay. And I asked what kind of bird popped into my mind. I said, what kind of bird gave this feather? What kind of feather is it? And he said, it's a lark. Pin in that. I don't really, and at the time I didn't really know what a lark looked like. You know, I know that a lark is a bird, but I've never really seen one that I'm aware of. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to Google that later and see if a lark really has black and white tail feathers. Because I had a problem with the black color. You know, I never see anything dark in meditation. Everything's all like pastel and colorful. And, you know, anytime I see something black, I'm like, wait a minute. Am I being deceived here? Somebody interfering with my meditation? Why is it black? Why is it black on the end? I'm always worried something's like bad. Okay. And there was an inkwell there. And he told me to use it. And the ink was blue. It wasn't black. It was very like deep royal blue, like my curtains behind me. And I asked, why is the ink blue? And he says, because blue symbolizes peace. And what you write will bring peace. I said, okay. I said, I asked what I'd be learning. And he said, how to use the quill. I'm like, okay, this is going to be easy. So, and then next to that, he showed me a large stack of single wheat colored long paper. So like scrolls. So I'm writing scrolls now. And I asked, and then I thought, well, these are all individual papers. Am I going to be rolling up all these scrolls? I mean, how am I going to put this into like book form? This is, you know, me thinking. And next to that, so we had the inkwell, the quill, and over here there was another item, and it was a big, it was either quartz or selenite rock crystal. And after I was done writing, you're supposed to turn the scroll over and put the rock on it. Okay, so that's what I was told. This is cool. All right, pin in that. So we know it's a lark feather. And when I tried to write, the coolest thing was is that I've never written with a quill before. I'm like, okay, or calligraphy or anything like that. So I dipped it in the blue ink, and I knew how to use it all of a sudden. Like I had to tilt it back just a little bit so that the ink would fall down into it. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Why did I know that? So I said, so I'm not going to be putting this in like a book. Do you have like a big book that I could write this in? You know, and Gabriel said, no, scrolls. And then I remembered when I first came into the library that there was all these scrolls in there. Like, whose scrolls are these? I've never opened any of them, never looked at them. I just could see that they're there, stacked up in shelves. They're in bins. They're all over the place. And I said, wait a minute. Whose scrolls are these? Who wrote these scrolls? And he said, Gabriel said, they're yours. I'm like, okay, blow my mind. I have no conscious awareness of ever coming in here and writing anything on a scroll. He said, yes, you have. You've been coming here for many years. And it surprised me. I'm like, what? What? Not something I would have put in their mind or heard them say to me. So I love it when that happens, because then I know that I'm receiving something real here. Could I have made it all up? Always. But stay there for a second. I said, what? I don't remember that. When do I come? And I asked for a memory of when I came, and it was a dream. He says, you come at night in your dreams. And then I remembered a long time ago, I was apologizing to Raphael in a meditation because I don't really talk to him much. Like, he's there all the time, but like, I talk to Gabriel and Michael all the time. Uriel for Universal Concepts. And Raphael said, I talk to you daily. I'm like, no. When? In your dreams. I'm like, well, is this why I'm so tired in the morning? Because I'm like doing all of this in my dreams? Do I ever take a rest? I mean, what's going on here? He says, you come to the library and write. And let's see. And you recall it when you're awake. I remember when I'm awake. So I had the quill. And I asked Jesus, because he's sitting next to me, okay, what should I write? So I've got the first scroll, I've got the quill, I put the ink in it. I'm like, what should I write? And he said, write the end. So I stopped. I'm like, I don't want to. What? I'm not going to like drop dead or something as soon as I write the end in the presence of Jesus. I mean, like. And then I got that. He's like, he kept saying it, write the end. I'm like, okay, this is a trust thing, isn't it? This is a test. I'm like, all right. I will write the end. Live or die, I will trust you. So I wrote the end, and it came out very pretty. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally know how to write that way. That's really awesome. And this is how I entertain myself in meditation. Okay, so but this is cool, all right? Listen. He gave me a message for everyone. This message will probably be in the beginning of the book series. And when I read it, you're going to feel it. Okay? And it made sense because when I started communicating with the angels, it was like an auto writing like this. I would hear one word at a time in my mind, in my own voice, and I would write it down. And the first thing that came was another message that was similar to this many years ago. Here's the message. And Jesus told me every word to write. The end of the old ways bring a new beginning. See how to trust there? I thought I was writing like, sealing my fate there. The end. Jennifer dies. Fear. Don't listen to fear. So here's the message. The end of the old ways bring a new beginning. Where there is pain, there will be peace. Where darkness falls, there is now light. When loss takes hold, blessings bring release. It is a new day, a new era of change, where love lights the way. It has begun. This is our beginning. It is real. It is happening. We are going here. This is our focus, our direction, our purpose for the humanitarians, for those who care. This is what we're doing. This entire operation, this is what it's about. I'm just reading. My reflections on this. When I did this, it was like all the insecurities and all the unimportant crap and I've really been doing a lot of work and I really don't have a lot of that anymore, but it was almost like that. I don't know how to explain it, but when I did that, when I wrote that, that is who I am. I mean, that was truly me. I felt so at peace and so real. And so this is what I do. Um, I was remembering, and that's cool. So I stopped writing and looked at Jesus. He put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Welcome home." And I said, with the whole the end thing and the welcome home, and then, fear again. We're so programmed to jump to fear. So programmed to jump to fear. So I did. And I looked at him. I said, "I'm not going to die, right?" And he said, "No, you don't have to." And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, "You don't have to. This is where we will eventually go. This is what everybody's been talking about in bits and pieces. The 5D, the 3D, the heaven on earth. Raising our vibration to a place where we just move freely. We don't have to suffer these pains. We can heal ourselves. We can create a good environment. We can function as we do in heaven here. Probably a little bit differently. But there doesn't have to be all this pain. There does not have to be all this suffering. And there really, in actuality, just like Jesus did, there doesn't have to be death. Blow your mind. I said, "That's pretty good for the first lesson." And then somebody in the room said, "Lesson done. That's enough for today." And I went, "Okay, we're done now." Now, the lark. I teach my students, when you start this meditation, let it be your imagination. Just let your imagination run wild. Keep it God-centered. Build your team. Have Jesus, the archangels there with you. God, if you want. Yes, God will show up in meditation if you want to, and he'll look exactly the way you want him to. I teach them to go ask questions that you don't know anything about, something that's not important, something that doesn't have, you're not emotionally attached to the answer. Like who created the ballpoint pen or whatever, something like that. Something you don't know. Write it all down afterwards. Then go and Google. And the day that you Google something that you don't know and it's right, you know that you were there and you communicated with them. And that was correct, because other people have to believe you, but you know that you didn't know that. Okay? And that strengthens your faith and it helps you believe. And then you always have this personal relationship with God, Jesus, the archangels. You can go in, you can receive your own answers, you can receive your own healing. This is what I've been doing all these years. This is why and where I get this information for you guys. And I was doing it so much that I started doing it outside of meditation. The lark. Googled the lark. I didn't know anything about larks. I found information that I should have known, but I didn't. The lark is a black, gray, and white bird. Bird. The spiritual significance of a lark symbolizes hope, joy, and new beginnings. Trip out on that. It symbolizes divine messages. Didn't know that. Representing the light, overcoming darkness through its iconic dawn song, signifying humility, inner reflection, and spiritual ascent. Now, what the hell have I been teaching everybody? How the heck did I do that? Isn't that amazing? It just blows your mind. It's so exciting and interesting. I love this. And in Christian art, who is sitting next to me? And in Christian art, it represents Christ. And I didn't know that. And I was like, this is awesome. I'm having fun now. But this has happened to me all along the way. But on that day, this lark feather is what I'm going to use to write these books. And I was told, this is getting too long. What time is it? Okay. What I was told, all this time I've been going into meditation. I've been seeing them in the field in heaven. You know, I look up, I ask them questions, I open my eyes, I write it down. I look up, I ask them questions, I open my eyes, I write it down. The way I'm going to be doing the gentle now, and the way I'm going to be doing the meditations now is different. I'm going to be going into the library. I'm going to be sitting at the desk. The team will be there. Jesus will be sitting next to me. And I will ask my questions that way. I probably won't be able to do it in readings this way. I don't know, maybe someday I will. And I asked, they told me that, and I asked why. I said, why do you want me to write this way now? And he said, because you are the bridge, or a bridge. So all this talk about, kill all the mediums and mediums bad and blah, 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 blah. Whatever title you want to put on it, they say that the kind of person, the kind of psychic that I am is a bridge. So when I go into meditation, I'm going to be seeing myself write it in with the quill in the blue ink of peace on the scrolls. And I will be sitting over here writing it on the paper at the same time. So that's exciting. I tried it first. It went pretty well. Anything else? This makes sense because that's how I started out with receiving information. It makes sense because I'm teaching other people to go into meditation. And what is interdimensional meditation? The bridge between heaven and earth. I'm not walking people by the ocean shore and telling them to put their problems in a box or create whatever you want. I am telling you to go to heaven and talk to them where you are safe and you get truth. Now, it comes through your human filter. It takes a lot of practice to actually receive the truth, but it's little things like this when you ask the questions that you don't have any emotional attachment to. They don't have to be wrong or right, and you Google it and you find out it's right. And then you go back and you remember what that felt like when you did that. Okay? So, I've been studying learning about consciousness, the power of the mind, psychic development, spirituality, connection to God, where we go when we die. I've been studying about the functions of the soul and how to surpass the normal limitations for like 35 years. This is nothing new. This is nothing I came across easy because somebody asked me to do an RV show. This is who I am. I've been led to the RV community because this is where my people are. Because you're the ones that need the information. Okay? You're the soldiers of the new world. The ones that go first. The ones that are strong enough to know. And this is going to get good. So I cannot tell you everything that I find out. It's going to be in books. Okay? I'm not going to share everything, but I'll share bits and pieces and I'll ask for information along the way. And so if you stay with me on my shows, you're going to follow the story. So after this, I probably won't be doing readings today. But I'm going to be doing stuff this week. And I'd like to get into the yellow social group and maybe figure out how to do a live in there. And I'm sure it's pretty easy. I've just never done it. For us all to talk sometime soon. I talked to Donnie about that. He knows how to do that. Time to write your book. Yeah, I'm writing lots of books all at the same time. Lots of them. I've been writing the books this whole time. Apparently, there in the shows. It's like, where does Jen get all this inspiration and ideas? Well, now we know. Now we know. How much time are we at? I want to tell you why. I'm gonna include some personal information here just so that you understand, because I think that a lot of people in our community can resonate with what I'm saying and what I've been through. I'm not going to be able to tell you the whole story. There's a lot of personal information. The path that I have walked for the last 4 years, personally, has been horrific. Okay? I knew that when I was going to go out and teach this, that I was going to have to do it myself. And when you decide, not that I'm any better than anybody else, I don't compare myself to anyone else. This is my journey, my personal advancement, my cleanup, my spiritual journey, okay? Which I've been walking my entire life, but the last 4 years, pretty intense, okay? I was married. Every intention of being with him forever. We were the best of friends. Still held hands everywhere we went. I was completely fooled. Completely snowed. Didn't see it till now. Before that, you know the story. I was widowed, went the whole time, raising the girls by myself. That's when I created the interdimensional meditation because I needed that closeness. I needed I didn't know what else to do with myself. And that part of the story you guys know. So when I started doing this, doing the mic show, doing all this stuff, I had my own radio station. I've always done radio. I've always had a presence. I had a huge group where I did free work, 25,000 people on Facebook, meditations, all kinds of stuff. I've been doing this for a very long time. Real News Live was not a beginning of anything other than introducing me to the RV community. But when I did that, I started to get a lot of attention. I started to make more money. Because before I was doing most of my work for free. um, that Oh, and then, of course, we ran up the debt because we thought it was going to get wiped out, and that was a mistake. Everybody, don't even tell me you didn't do that too. A lot of you did that too. Whatever. Um, but the husband had a problem with that. He basically ran it up, but I'm stuck with it now. But over time, started to compete with me. It was a kind of narcissism that I had never seen before. It wasn't very obvious, but it was there. Long story short, I didn't see him slipping down into mental illness, but the time came where he wanted to quit his job that he hated and wanted to make easy money like me and be psychic. And I said, well, you don't do that. You don't quit the day job. I've been doing this for a long time. Let me train you, and yeah, you could join me. We could do it together. No. Your way isn't the only way. I'll find my own way. Well, I'm like, well, let me teach you a few things to keep you safe because there are dark ones out there. You can get yourself into trouble. I don't know if that's what actually happened, but he didn't want to take any instruction from me. There was this competition that went on, and it got ugly. Okay. And then he began hearing voices outside of himself, and they were hateful voices. They did not like me, and they did not like him. I thought he had a stroke in the shower one day because there was a time when this all just blew up and he thought he was God and he was the most psychic person in the world and he was going to go to California and teach everybody we're going to get a divorce, and it came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming at all. I didn't see it. I didn't see what was going on. I know that he stopped watching my shows, and every time I did a show, he'd kind of stare at me like he hated me from the corner. And I'm like, I don't understand. I am doing everything that I possibly can for everyone around me and you, and being the best wife I can, and trying to make up for the money that you're not making when you decided to quit your job for a year so you can find yourself. Held that against me as well. So all these voices believe that God, Jesus, and the archangels were actually bad because he couldn't do what I did, because he wasn't doing it for the right reasons. God will gift you with gifts when your intentions right here are good, and you truly want to do it for people. You truly want to heal them. You truly want to help them. You want to provide the answers. You want to make it okay. Whatever it is. That is at the base of my being. It always has been. And that is why everybody's taking advantage of me. Okay. That's a lesson to learn. Not that I'm perfect. Okay, I get mad, I get upset, I do all these things, but that is who I am. So this man demonized me, and it went so far as he sat me down one day, all these terrible voices, scary, like shining stuff, okay? I went through that for years while I've been coming out here and giving you all hope to go on. That is the power of God, the strength within you that will lead you forward. The day came where he said, why don't you let me help you? And I'm like, whoa, that's weird. I don't like the energy coming off of this. If you'll just admit that God is not the highest and that they're really bad, and if you agree not to write the seventh element and quit your job and stop doing all of this, everything will be okay. I don't know. Is this really happening? I mean, is he like possessed? I mean, what the hell? I've never heard such a thing. Like, what the hell? And I looked at him like, oh, I know exactly who I'm talking to right now. I said, I'll never do it. I never will. I will never deny God, who strengthens me, who led me and those girls through being widowed and everything else. No, I will never do it. And then it got tried to convince me that I was evil itself, that my very existence was, and I have no conscious awareness of it. I am so bad and so evil that God, Jesus, and the archangels are physically and mentally harming him because I exist. And I got a divorce. I got him out of here. I had to give him money to do it. That is the truth. So, over the holiday, so I'm thinking, all right, he's messed up. I mean, he's seriously messed up. I don't even know if he's going to be able to keep a job. He had a really hard time keeping a job. And then so I'm paying the phone bill still for him and the car insurance. And I'm thinking, I don't know if my name's still in that truck. I got him on a good day. We got the divorce done. I got him. Just God helped me with the whole thing and kept me and the girl safe. Okay. So then I'm thinking he's over there in the apartment just going, like it's bad. And I'm like, so I don't turn the phone off. And part of the way, I kind of used it to say, okay, well, leave me alone or I'll turn your phone off. And then a year came around and I was just like, this is ridiculous. I've been telling this guy for months to go and get his own phone. So then he gets, I got to shorten this. Crap. So then one day I turned it off to force him to go and get his own phone. And he flipped out. This was over the holidays, right before, I think. Then I get this text from another phone number. And I'm thinking, okay, he's crazy. He's in an apartment. He's, he can't get a job. I feel sorry for him. Maybe he did have a stroke. Maybe he's got a brain tumor. Maybe something's going on. It was from another number. And I said, whose number is this? Never mind. Turn my phone back on and blah, 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 blah. Come to find out, a woman texts me that night. It's his girlfriend that he's had since a week after the divorce. And she said, well, I didn't know that you were still paying the phone bill and all this stuff. And I told her, you realize he's, there's got some problems, right? I said, oh, yeah, I noticed that. Well, but I'm thinking, so anyway, he basically told her, well, I didn't want to tell her about you so that she'd keep paying my bills. And I'm like, what kind of evil am I dealing with here? My entire life falls apart. I get away from you. Now I'm afraid that now then it was the whole, I lost my girlfriend because of you, and then I had to get security cameras and everything so that man doesn't think that my very existence needs to be exterminated, so that he's ruining his life. I didn't do anything. The woman texted me. I really didn't tell her everything either. So there's that. So I block him. I do everything I can. I get that evil out of my life. And then I get invited to Christmas with the stepfather. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I'm starting all of this. Am I getting attacked? Is this like evil attacks coming from all directions? What is happening? It could be some kind of spiritual journey to get rid of the endings, to get rid of all the old crap, to get rid of the anything draining me of my energy. I don't know. So I decide, okay, I came out here for Thanksgiving. I told you guys, all right, this is how we act if people, don't like us. Okay? We're going to go in there and we're going to diffuse and we're going to alkalize the situation. We're going to turn all that negative energy, we're going to turn it around. Okay? Trust me, I have worked very hard in my life personally to get to a place where I can do that. And the girls are younger, and I'm like, Katie and Faith, they're going to go off on him. Anybody says anything, we did it for Mom. Mom wants us to come up here. All right, so we get up there, I'm thinking, and the evil stepfather, the evil narcissistic atheist stepfather, I'm like, well, maybe he'll behave for Mom. Because Mom is, getting on in years, and she wanted all her children together. I'm like, fine, we'll do it. The girls and I get a good report card. I told those girls, listen, it was hard, too much spiritual stuff to teach them that fast, but I said, listen, just act like you're at work and you don't like people, okay? But you're nice to them anyway. Let's do that. So we did that. We went, all the evil stares and all the stuff from, I told my stepfather off during everything that went on with Brett because he was being abusive to my children and causing added stress to the situation when we had a crazy man in our home. Didn't care at all. And we've been ousted for like 3 years. So finally, we go up to Christmas. I'm like, okay, now is a good time for me to go to Christmas. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Wonderful. This is some kind of test. So we go up there. Absolutely nice to everybody. You know what? There's this long table. My sister, my brother, the girls. There was tension that happened a long time ago between my sister and her husband and my girls. And the girls, I'm so proud of them. They just acted so nice to everybody, and it was funny because everybody from the Catholic background were sat at the end of the table with me and my girls, my mom's side of the family, and we all got along. It was peaceful on that end of the table. But the other side, my stepfather, my stepsister, like demon spawn, I'm serious, and her offspring and her husband, they were all crowded at the very end of the table in their own little seats and stuff. There's like this division that they purposely set in the middle of the table. I'm like, what the hell? And we were treated like outcasts, like we were not welcome there. We weren't even looked at, spoken to, nothing. And I finally just told Mom, listen, Mom, at least I can come pick you up now. So, long story short, my stepfather didn't speak to me, but texted me later, oh, I see you have a website. And if you're so great, why aren't you healing your mother? I'm like, well, I'm actually doing Healing's Mother weekly. I have been, and I've been doing healings on you. And he's a total atheist. So when I told him off, what he told the family was, long story short, he actually said it in the text was, Jennifer, don't do anything to me. You've been trying to kill me. He thinks that I'm some evil witch over here, like putting stuff in a bucket and like stirring it around and trying to kill him from. It's like I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, that's insane. When the reality of it is, I've been going in on healings, and even though I've been ousted and hated and all this stuff because I stood up to the massive. No, I've never seen a level of narcissism like that. That is ridiculous. I've been doing healings on him the whole time because what happened was he the COVID years he slipped down into alcoholism really bad because they were home all the time. Then he pumped everybody through 4 vaccines, and he started having kidney failure. He told the family because he was the one that insisted that he and Mom get vaccines, and Mom started getting dementia. He told the family, everybody there, that it was me at home casting spells to kill them all. So we have 5 minutes. Lori, I'm going to be late. So, leaning on Jesus through all this, people. It's really leaning on. And you guys, my community, wonderful. Wonderful. But personally, I'm over here, I'm like, well, you got the world on your shoulders, Jen. Kids, the rents have gone through the roof around here. The kids don't have roommates to move in with. They're here at the house. I got stuck with the house payment. I got to save us all from the crazy man who thinks I need to be exterminated. And he left me with all the debt. And he's over there having some relationship with fooling some chick, and I'm like the family. The family thinks I'm an evil witch. And yeah. I have no more room in my life. And I will say to you, in front of God, Jesus, and the rest, my intentions have been true. I have always tried to be loved. Yep. I have faults. Yep. I have said the wrong thing. Yep. I might have acted out in anger. But I've done my best my entire life. And those people goddamn know it. They all know it. So, even if you find yourself standing alone, you can find strength here. God will carry you through. And you all know that. You've got your own stories. But we've all come together for a reason. So, hang on. So, I started thinking about, well, maybe I'll date someday. Like I don't even know what to do about that. I mean, like, what am I going to tell him? Like, what do you do for a living? Never mind. I'll just walk alone. Maybe the kids will have grandkids. That'll be cool. Let's do that. I'll write the books. I'll do my thing. I'll do it all my goddamn self. I will do it all my goddamn self. So I'm thinking, you know what? I don't want to be around these normal people. If that's what normal is. I don't want to be all these people that are all centered in hate and judgment and criticism and all that crap. It doesn't resonate with me anymore. I want my people. I want to be around my people. And I bet that there's a lot of them out there that feel just the same way that I do. And so I started Yellow RV Social Club. And it's not just for RVers. It's for the free thinkers, the spiritual people, the ones that have been wrongly condemned, the ones that have been ousted from the family, the ones that have lost so much and found themselves alone. We need to come together now. Because we have mutual purpose here. And I would like you all to join and socialize with each other and make friends and create events and meet each other. And I called it Yellow because this is actually pretty genius. I didn't even see it when it was coming. I just do things and then I figure it out later. But I realized why later. It's going to be cool. Is that after the RV goes, I'm going to take the RV Social Club off of it. It's just going to be Yellow. And when we plan these events someday, just kind of like the Red Hat ladies, you see them out and they're having their events, all right? They're having their little lunches and their parties and their conventions and whatever. And you see that they all belong to that because they're wearing red and purple. Well, we're going to be discreet about it. Nobody's going to know what we're about at all, but we will. Everybody will wear something yellow. A hat, handkerchief, or if they don't, we'll clip something on them. There's no rule, structure, or hierarchy to the group. There's no dues. We're non-members of Yellow Social Club. All right? And we are the ones, we are the humanitarians, we are the free thinkers, we are the RVers, we are the medbed people, we are the new earth. And we are the ones who came here to make a difference. And so we need to support each other. In conversation, if you're looking for somebody that you can date, get in there. There are the rules that are posted in at the top of the group, at the top of the chat group on Telegram. You're awesome, whoever said that. I am Yellow. That's awesome. I didn't even think that. That's great. There's no managers, there's no chapters, there's no any of that crap that can become corrupted. This is a way of thinking. This is a community that is centered around love, goodness, and progress. There's free to join. I do ask that you do not message people. We have rules. Only admins can advertise. If anybody's advertising you from the group as one of us, that's not us. The rule is if you want to speak to somebody or create your own chat, you can just say on the group, I'm creating a chat for this area, like a private chat. Who wants to talk tonight? And then you click on and respond me, and then they will add you. Or you're in my area. Is it okay if I message you privately and you ask before you do anything so that people don't feel infringed upon? Okay. I had more to share. I am late for a reading. Lori Bakemeyer, I'll be there in a second. Call me. Give me like 10 minutes, okay? I'll be quick. I think that was a free one anyway. I want to take a break. But this is going to be an amazing journey. What I assume I'm going to be learning is the lost knowledge, possibly the lost years of Jesus, what he taught the apostles. Jesus said, these things that I do, so shall you do. How did they do it? I'm going to find out. And I'm going to go teach the world. But don't feel sorry for me, because everybody has their own struggles, right? Pretty sure I wrote this, which is stupid. But it has elevated me every step of the way emotionally. It has made me stronger. I wouldn't be who I am today if I did not go through those things. And I hate that. But it's true. But all these people try to break me. I don't break. And I know that now. I don't break. And you shouldn't either. Because if you're sitting there at home and you feel like I did, and you think you're alone, not anymore. We're all one team, and we should come together. So join us. I love you all. I got to get going. Got to get to work. It's busy. I'll be on tomorrow with Mike. I don't know if I'm going to do like a live chat in yellow on Thursday, maybe Thursday evening. I'm not sure yet. Or another show. But I will post on Telegram and let you all know. Okay? Have a great day.